Welcome, pre-algebra students. Today we are going to do a little bit of statistics. So in statistics, we have four words that give us a lot of information about a set of numbers, and that's what statistics is. It's a mathematics field that analyzes data, and data can be in the form of numbers or words or responses, but we use these types of values to give us information about a set of data. So those words that we use are range, median, if my pen will cooperate, median, mean, and mode. Now, a range just simply is what it says. It is the range of numbers. If you were to put these numbers on the number line, like for instance here, how far of a space or how long of a distance would they cover? So for instance, if I had the numbers 2, 4, 7, and 11, and let's say 6, and I have my number line here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I could take my numbers and I could circle the lowest number, and then I would circle the highest number, and from that, because it is equal to 2 and one of them is equal to 11, so I'd fill that in, and then I would draw a line between the two. That would be my range of numbers. But the range, more than just being illustrated here on the number line, the range has a mathematical value, and that mathematical value is the distance between 2 and 11. And the way that we find the distance between 2 and 11 is through subtraction. So you take, for range, let me erase this for a moment. For range, you always take the highest number and you subtract the lowest. And that is how you find the mathematical distance of this range of numbers. And in this case, our highest number is 11 and our lowest number is 2. So our range is 9. So if we were to actually look on the number line, we could actually count it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we see that matches up with what we found mathematically. So it's the highest number in your set of data minus the lowest number in your set of data. And you don't have to try to worry about what that set of data is or what it means. Right now, all you have to focus on at this moment is how to get the answer, how to understand what the range is. The data will take care of itself. Okay, we don't care about that. What we care about is how do we find the range. All right, so that is range. Now let's talk about what the median is. The median is the number in the middle. That's all it is. So the number in the middle. So of the numbers that I gave you earlier, what we need to do is take these numbers and put them in numerical order. So I would take these numbers and I would list them. 2 are in numerical order. Now I just have to find the number in the middle. And the way you find the number in the middle is by counting the number of numbers you have. We have 5, okay? 5 divided by 2 is equal to 2 and 1 left over. So we're going to take 2 off of each end and get to the one in the middle. So these 2 are gone, these 2 are gone, and this is the one in the middle. So that the number in the middle, the median in this set of data, is 6. That wasn't so hard. There wasn't really even any math. In fact, all you would have to do is just drop the 1 off the end and one off the end, one off the end, one off the end, until you have one left. All right, so what happens if all of a sudden you don't have an odd number of numbers? Let's say our numbers are 2, 4, 7, and 6. So again, you would write them in numerical order. Okay, so now we have 4 numbers. So what I would do is I would cross or get rid of numbers on the end until I have 2 numbers in the middle. And I would take those 2 numbers in the middle and I would add them together and then divide that number by 2. So that would be 10 divided by 2. My median would then be 5. Okay? When you have an even number of numbers, your median is between the two, the average of the 2 center numbers. If you have an odd number, it's just whatever the number in the middle is. Okay, and if you think about it, the number in the middle here, when you have an even set, it's going to be halfway between this number and this number. And if you think about it, 4, 5, 6, 5 is exactly 1 from 4 and 1 from 6. So it's the one exactly in the middle between these two. Right? It makes sense. But this is the way we do it mathematically. All right, so let's look at mean for just a minute. So mean just means average. That's all it is. So let's go back to our original set of numbers, 2, 4, 6, 7, and 11. The average of these would be, the way you would do this is you would take a sum of all the data. You take the sum of the data, or the sum of the numbers, and you would divide it by the quantity of the data, or the quantity of the numbers. So in this case, we have 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 7 plus 11, right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So that's the quantity. So we would divide whatever that sum is by 5. So if I bring up my trusty calculator here, remember, okay, 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 7 plus 11 equals 30. Okay, so let me go back to Good Notes. So that would be 30 divided by 5. So yeah, that'd be 6, that'd be 12, that'd be 19, that'd be 30. 30 divided by 5. 6 is the average of those numbers. Okay? All right, so now let's talk about mode. Mode just means the number used the most. Do we have a mode with this set of data? No, there is no mode. But if we, for instance, had a different set, let's say we had 2, 4, 6, 7, 11, 4. Now our mode is equal to 4 because 4 is used the most, right? It is the most often used number. That's all it is. And you can have more than one mode per set of number. So set of data. Let me give you another example. Here's a list of numbers. 2, 4, 8, 7, 4, 3, 8, 7, 2, 8. What is our mode in this set of data? Well, I have 2 used twice. I have 4 used twice. I have 7 used twice. I have 3 only used one time. And 8 is used 3 times. My mode, the way this is 8. Let's say I get rid of an 8 for whatever reason. Now I have 8 2 times. I have 2 2 times, I have 4 2 times, and I have 7 2 times. So my mode becomes, and we list them in numeric order, my mode for this set of data as it is now is 2, 4, 7, and 8. How about that? I have 4 modes to this set of data, and 3 is just used once, so it's not considered part of the mode. So you see, you can have more than one mode if they're all used the same number of times. But if whatever number is used the most, even if you have another pair of numbers or another set of numbers that's used more than once, it is the one that's used the most or the most equally. Okay? And by that I mean each of these was used 2 times. So they're all included in the mode. That's kind of nifty. All right, so let's do some example problems with these terms. So here I have example 26.1. I'm going to pause and write these numbers for you. All right, here's our data for 26.1. So we are going to find the range, the mode, the median, and the mean. So first let's start with the range. Now remember, the range is equal to the highest number minus the lowest number. So our range is going to be the highest one. I find when we have this data here, it is very helpful to rewrite it in numerical order. So let's do that first. So it looks like the lowest number is 26. And then we have, all right, I just counted in my head. I say 26, 27, 28, 29. Oh, there's 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. I don't see any more 30s. I see 40 once. I see 40 twice. So you can cross out the ones that you've already used if that helps you. I see 42. I see 43. I see 47 and 48. I see 50 2 times. And I see 55 is the last number. All right, writing it in numerical order really helps because now it's really easy to see the highest number and the lowest number. So the highest number is 55 and the lowest number is 26. So our range is going to be equal to 19. Is that right? No. It would be equal to 29. Yes. So 29 is our range because there's 29 spaces on the number line between 26 and 55. Okay? So let's look at our median. Let's find the middle number. So I am going to start by just canceling the ones on the end. It's first pair, second pair, third pair, fourth pair, fifth pair. All right, so these are the 2 middle numbers. So I have an even number, so I need to add them together and divide by 2. Here's the thing though, when they're right next to each other, you know the middle number that comes right in between them is just going to be 0.5. So my mean is 42.5. Now, if you wanted to make sure, you could say 42 plus 43 divided by 2, and that's going to be 85 divided by 2, and that equals 42.5 when you do the calculator. Okay? But I know when it's 42, when it's just one, if you've only got one number between the 2 of these, you cut it in half. 1 divided by 2 is going to be 0.5, which is 42.5, right in between those. So I don't even have to do any math, not really. So let's look at the mode. The mode is going to be the ones that are used the most. So I see 40 used here, and I see 50 used here. They're both used 2 times. None of the other numbers are duplicated. So my mode is 40 and 50. That's my mode. Now comes the actual math part, the part that you have to actually calculate. So I'm going to add all these numbers together to find the mean, and the mean is just the average. So 26 plus 30 plus 34 plus 40 plus 40, and you can put this in your calculator. I don't expect you to do it in your head. Plus 47 plus 48. When we add all of those together, we get 505. Now we need to count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we divide by 12. 505 divided by 12 is equal to 42.08. Let me double check my calculation. 505 divided by 12. It's actually 4208, and then we have a repeating decimal of 3. But 3 does not round this up. So it doesn't matter that we have a repeating decimal. It goes away. 3 will not make this 9, right? So we stop at the 2 decimal places where we normally round to, and we leave it like that. 42.08 is the mean for this, because that is our average. All right, easy peasy. This is probably some of the easiest math you guys are going to do this year. So let's do average in word problems. And why don't we just jump right into one? I'm going to pause this and write 26.2 up on the board for us. Okay, 26.2. When the boys measured the distance 3 times, they got 3 different answers. If the measurements were 4.017 meters, 4.212 meters, and 3.996 meters, what was the mean of the 3 measurements? So for mean, we know we can just say average, right? That is the average. So that's what we're going to call that, the average of those 3. So we're just going to add them all up. 4.017 and 4.212 and 3.996. Add it all together and we get 12.225 meters. But we have 3 different measurements, so we're going to divide that by 3. So when we divide that by 3, we get 4.075 meters. That is the mean of the 3 measurements, or the average. That's the same thing as average. So that wasn't so hard, right? We just add them together, plug them in the little calculator, divide it by 3, it spits out the answer. Easy peasy. All right, let's clear the board and we'll do another one. (26.3) When Athena sprang in full armor from the head of Zeus, 2 other gods guessed the weight of her panoply. One guess was 41.802 kilograms, and the other guess was 37.408 kilograms. What was the mean of the 2 guesses? So we're just going to find the average here. So 41.802 kilograms plus 37.408 kilograms. Add those together and we get 79.210 kilograms. Now we have 2 guesses, so we're going to divide that number by 2, and that is going to be the mean, and that number is 39.210 1.605 kilograms. Easy peasy. Okay, so again, we take the sum of all the guesses divided by the number of guesses, and that is the average. The average is the same thing as the mean. All right, now if you don't know what this is talking about, this relates back to Greek mythology, which I highly recommend reading. Greek mythology is one of the things that people in ancient times came up with, stories they told themselves to explain their world. They created this whole universe of gods and stories of goddesses, and this one was over love, and this one was over fertility, and this one was over harvest, and this one was over this and that one and the other, and the head of all of them was Zeus, and he was the father, and they weren't born so much as they just were created weirdly. But it's very interesting, and if you can use your imagination a little bit, it's kind of cool, but it's not real. It's just stories. If any of you have read any of the Percy Jackson series, it is a modern day retelling of Greek mythology. So see if you can find the parallels. It's kind of cool to study and to see what people thought back then, but that's really all it is. So let's clear this, and we will do one more. Now in 26.4, Miss Tracy got a little tongue-tied there. We are given, this should have said not main, this should have said mean. I had a typo, sorry, I'm not perfect. The mean weight of the 3 pigs was 320. That means the average weight was 320. So we took some number, which was the sum, and that gave us 320 pounds. Okay? So in order to go back to the sum, we have to undo this division by doing multiplication. And the way we do that is by taking the denominator of this number and multiplying it times the whole thing on both sides. So this would cancel out, and this would be the sum is equal to 320 times 3, and that would be 960. All right, so now that we know the total of all 3 pigs, we can subtract the first 2 weights. So 960 minus the first pig was 220. That was pig number 1. So that's 0, that's 4, and that is 7. So now we have the other 2 pig number 2 and pig number 3 together are going to be 740 pounds. So now we're going to subtract the weight of the second pig, 240 pounds. That's the second pig. And that's going to be 0, 0. Oh my goodness. 500 pounds is the weight of the third pig. That is one big pig. He makes 2 of the other pigs. He's bigger than both of them added together. Oh my goodness. That is how we would work that problem. You would do it backwards. You would undo the division through multiplication of whatever this quantity is on the bottom. And then what that does is it cancels it out, and it leaves you with the sum, and then multiplying it on this side gives you what that sum actually is. Okay, so that is what we are doing here. We are working the average backwards. We're undoing the average to find the sum, so then we can take away those that we know to find what we don't know, which was the weight of the third pig. All right, that's all we have for lesson 26. I will see you guys in lesson 27.